Peace, family. Let's talk about it. 80 years in prison for 16 grams of cocaine. 80 years. I'm speaking of the case of Anwar Holmes. Mr. Holmes is a resident of Houston here, and he was in Avenger, Texas, which is his hometown, on his way back to the city of Houston. On his way back, he got into a road rage incident with a white female. According to Mr. Holmes, the white female tried to run him off the road, and so he took a beer can and threw the beer can at her vehicle. The white female called the police, and the police ultimately pulled him over, searched his vehicle, and once the second officer got there and searched his vehicle, they claimed that they found cocaine outside of his vehicle underneath the passenger side. Now, Mr. Holmes' family disputes the fact that the drugs that they found were his. I don't know. I was not there. But what I do know is that 16 grams of cocaine, which led to a possession offense. So they charged him with possession. They didn't even charge him with possession with intent to deliver. And mind you, Mr. Holmes has some priors. But how do you justify an 80-year sentence for a non-violent crime? There is no justification. Mr. Holmes' conviction had less to do with the fact that he had a controlled substance allegedly in his possession, and it has more to do with the fact that he got into it with a white woman in small town America. And if you ever want to see cases of egregious injustices, come to small towns in places like Texas, and you will literally see, like, if hanging a black man from a tree is here, giving him 80 years for possession of cocaine, and we're not talking about 38 kilos of cocaine. We're talking about 16 grams, enough for a few people to get high. That's a step below that. It is legal lynching. Now, I stood with the family of Anwar Holmes, and we spoke out about this unjust sentence.
Relatives of Anwar Holmes describe him as a loving man and a hard-working truck driver.
Just fun to be around, loving, caring, just there for anyone. It was no one that was a stranger to him.
Thanksgiving is the beginning of a decades-long sentence in a TDCJ prison. Last week, his family says he was sentenced to 80 years on a drug possession conviction in Upshur County.
An 80-year sentence, a justifiable 80-year sentence for drug possession, maybe for a kingpin, maybe for El Chapo.
I just feel he didn't have a fair trial from day one because you had 11 white jurors and 1 black juror.
The family is asking the conviction be overturned. They say the time doesn't fit the crime. Relatives say in July of 2017, Holmes was visiting family in Upshur County when he was involved in a road rage incident with a Caucasian woman. They say he threw a beer bottle. No one was hurt, but he was pulled over for the incident. The family says he was charged with possession of 16 grams of cocaine, and he nor the woman faced charges for the road rage allegations.
But the thing that upsets me the most is the time is not fitting the crime. If he was out there like killing someone or doing something that would justify a 80-year life term sentence, we wouldn't be here saying this today.
During the punishment phase of the trial, prosecutors told jurors that Holmes had previous convictions of possession of a controlled substance and served a 3-year sentence after a conviction of assault of a public servant. His wife says she wants her husband to know they are not giving up.
And I'm telling him, hey, we are fighting for you. It is a lot of people that are outraged. You have your family behind you, and we are not sitting silent.
The family plans to appeal, obviously, and we're reaching out to attorneys and others who will help us to go and overturn the sentence. So we'll be working on that case, but we're bringing this to light for a reason. Brothers and sisters, you have to realize that we are still the hunted in this country. And even though we're coming off of the midterm elections and we feel like black folks who went out and voted feel like we took some wins and losses. For instance, right here in Harris County, 19 black women were voted into judges' seats and all of the Republicans lost their seats. But what we have to always remember is that white people do not fight fair. You can vote them out of office and they'll come back and try to do something physical to you. Like they don't fight fair and they don't lose easily. So we have to fight the case of Anwar Holmes, because if we don't fight for him, then what we're saying to the system here in this country is that it's okay for us to be over-sentenced for nonviolent crimes. Right here in Harris County, a white man by the name of Terry Thompson, he got into it with a Hispanic brother by the name of John Hernandez, and he literally choked the life out of him. He killed him with a chokehold. The DA tried Terry Thompson for murder, and on the first try, he was exonerated. The district attorney came back around and tried him again, and they found him to be guilty, sentenced to 25 years. So a white male murders a Hispanic male with his bare hands and receives a 25-year sentence. I'm talking about murder. And you mean to tell me that Anwar Holmes can get caught with 16 grams of cocaine, that is, if it were really his, but he was convicted for 16 grams of cocaine, and he gets 80 years in prison? Both of these crimes took place in the same state. This is a clear picture of where you stand in America, black people. Do not be deluded. Do not suffer from the illusion of inclusion. So the dope game is over, okay? The same type of sentences that Bill Clinton was handing out in the 90s that started this wave of mass incarceration, they're handing them out now. So my young brothers and sisters, if you've decided that you want to make an entry or a re-entry into the dope game, I want you to think about what happened to Anwar Holmes. You'll be going to prison for a very long time. So keep this brother's family in your prayers, and we'll keep you all updated on this case. Peace.